following is intended only for mature audiences.
Open your ears and lube up your butthole. It's time for the What Do We Call It podcast. Now, here's your host. It's Jmann. Welcome to the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm Jmann, and here's a little bonus episode for the month. It's Men's Mental Health Month. I didn't exactly address men's mental health issues directly as much as bitching about the issues I'm having with my baby mamas and stuff like that, which is a part of my mental health. So yeah, I'm just focusing on me. I'm a selfish prick. That's what they say. Anyways, I'm over it. Here's the deal. This weekend, I was able to have my youngest two children sleep at my house unsupervised for the first time in 5 months.
Holy shit!
And I got to tell you, it has been hell. Let's go back in time to how this transpired. Now, a part of a divorce involves either mediation or ADR, otherwise known as Alternative Dispute Resolution. That's two parts, a social early neutral evaluation and a financial early neutral evaluation. And both of these are trying to get agreements in place on the financials and the custody before you go into your pretrial so you can try to wrap up the divorce as easy as pie. And since I didn't take the shitty deal back in November at the SENE, it seems that my estranged spouse was hell-bent on making me pay for it a little bit here and there. There was the false allegation against me via CPS in January, immediately followed by her lawyer filing an ex parte order for protection, which means that they just give it to you, whether you think you really did it or not, because it's filed in good faith. Part of that meant that I didn't get to see my kids. And that went on for 67 days until we got to court. I did not plan on being a father. I did not try to become a father, but I am one. And I love my children dearly, which is why when you take them away from me, my standard of life quality is much shittier. And it was just not having them here. I couldn't go in their room. I didn't even deal with their clothes. I kept their toys pretty much right where they left them the last time they were here. And I made it through that 70-day period, including up to court and 3 days after when I got to talk to them on a video call via an app that my wife demanded we use now for communication. And it was just like, I don't feel close to these kids right now. It feels like every possible step that has been taken to alienate me from them and a sense of being loved or them knowing I love them has been put into place. And then once we got past court, where I just like to add that immediately when we got there, they wanted to drop the OFP, which was a major fucking slap in the face, and just felt like when they said, hey, there's these conditions we want him to adhere to, and we'll drop the OFP, just made me believe that that's what their goal was all along, and this was a bit of judicial theater to kind of, grease the wheels with a legal maneuver to try to scare me, to give in to her shitty custody deal instead of fighting for joint custody like I want, and I'm now going to get via the judge. During that time, food did not taste good. Sex was not fun. Work sucked. I didn't enjoy anything. You took away the light in my life. Now, I already lost the mom in the marriage. That sucks. The family is splintered. That sucks too. But then you completely excise these two loving, caring children who are loved and well cared for from their father. And it's all basically a power play to see if I'll flip out and do something you can hold against me.
Allegedly.
Or to just see if I'll cave in and give in to your shitty demands. And I did neither. So then after court, there was a list of stipulations. I have to go to therapy for at least 2 sessions. We need to go to family therapy for at least 2 sessions and then follow all recommendations. I need to have an anger management / domestic issue assessment done, and then I have to do an online parenting class. The parenting class, the anger management thing, these are all demands that she has made since the day I was served the divorce papers, and she could not articulate in person why she felt I needed them, only saying, I'll only talk about it through my lawyer. which is bullshit and meant to basically just say that you're not going to have an argument with me about it because I will crush you in it and you don't feel like having to justify your behavior. Well, that's just more conflict avoidance from her, and that's par for the course. And again, you go to bed knowing you only get to talk to your kids on video call 2 days a week for an undetermined amount of time. And then I can have supervised visits. And to do that, I can either pay to go to some visiting center that fucking stinks and there's COVID all over the toys there and it's dirty. And it's like, why do we have to come here? This is like jail for dads almost. Or you can pay somebody privately, and I don't know anybody, and frankly, I don't have to fucking pay money to see my kids. That's retarded as a notion that you should have to pay money to see your kids. I don't know why anybody would ever agree to that shit, but maybe you don't have anybody to support you and supervise. I had my 2 best friends. I also had my neighbors as backup. I tried to have my dad do it, but right in court she said that she didn't trust my dad to hold me accountable, which is bullshit because my dad's a pussycat and he doesn't even wear the pants in his own fucking relationship. Guy's never even had a speeding ticket, drives 2 miles an hour to 5 miles an hour on the limit at all fucking times. He's just so passive. Not even passive aggressive, he's passive. My dad's a big pussy. I have no problem saying it. But again, you took the kids away. And in addition to that, and fucking with our relationship, you also put no plan in place for my older children to communicate with their siblings. And that is goddamn garbage. My middle daughter was about to have her 12th birthday. And she got to a point where she cried for 3 straight days and couldn't sleep because she was worried we didn't know when we'd see their siblings again. And she even got to a point where she's like, I don't even want to do anything for my birthday. If I can't see them, I don't want to do anything. And that was very heart-wrenching for me as a father to have to hear her talk like that. It's a kid's birthday, man. When is a kid ever not excited to celebrate their birthday and have a party or do something fun? So kudos to my estranged spouse for not thinking of her stepdaughter, whose birthday has been the same day ever since they cleaved her from the beast's womb. You pushed her over the edge, and it's why she's been having mental health struggles. Not totally because of that, but it played a big part in it. So there's this unsurety amongst my older kids of when we're going to see their younger siblings, and it's just a fucking mess. And it feels like, again, all of this was just done to punish me because I wouldn't take her shitty deal. And it's a lot to fucking stomach. I already have so much other stress in my life. The mother of my older 2 kids is a fucking batshit crazy psychopath, basically. And I constantly have to run the gamut of her emotional abuse. I'm fucking sick of it. And, you know, one part of this that I haven't talked a lot about, aside from how much it hurt my heart to not have my kids, is I got ambushed with the OFP paperwork on a Monday morning right before I'm leaving for work. Felt like it was by design to ruin my week right from the start. And I didn't flip out. I was perfectly calm. I was like, so I can't talk to my kids? He's like, unfortunately not at this time, no. So then anytime I got a phone call from certain prefixes in our area code, I was worried it was the police. Because in her OFP, she made a lot of allegations. Many of them fantastically exaggerated. And it's just to the point where, well, what's her next move going to be? How is she trying to punish me or break me down next? So I'm sitting here constantly worried that the cops are going to show up. And she's going to say I did something, or she held some allegation until later so she could get me in stages to break me down. And I'm peeking out of the fucking mini blinds like a crackhead waiting for my house to get raided. And anytime a cop car came down my street, my heart fucking skipped a beat. I'm like, oh, fuck, are they coming for me? Did she tell them I did something when I didn't? Because you don't know, even if you're innocent and the cops show up, it's not a good feeling. You can't trust that they have your best interest in mind. They're just trying to do their job. And if they think you did something, or it's been articulated that you did something to the point of believability, you're fucking going to jail. You're getting arrested. You might get charged. They might drop the charges. They might hold you for questioning. I don't know. But it's not like they're going to show up and go, oh, this is bullshit. You're going through a tough divorce? Okay, thanks. That's all we need. And they drive away. Just nerve-wracking. Oh, there's my phone. There's a number I don't recognize. And then I'm texting somebody to Google the fucking number to know what it is. And then when I find out it's a number tied to the sheriff's department, I'm like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ, what fresh hell am I about to have to endure now? And to be completely law-abiding and have no criminal record and be a former correctional officer and have the cops at my house that many times delivering paperwork and every time being like, well, why do you need to come to the house? We're just delivering paperwork. I wouldn't lie to you. It's not an ambush. You're not getting arrested or nothing. And it's just like, Jesus Christ. This probably took years off my life. And she's talked about how she thought that I was going to die young of a heart attack. Well, Widowmaker's running the family on my dad's side with his sister's husband and their 2 sons. Now, maybe that's not enough of a relation, and it's because of my uncle, who's not a blood relative. But either way, stress is a killer, and I've been under so much of it that I was lethargic, I put on weight, I was disinterested in everything, and it just slowly rotted away at my mental stability. And there's days where I'm just like, why am I fighting this hard when it feels like so many things on the internet say I'm going to get fucked? And you read about your situation, and there's similar ones, and how people got screwed over and their kids were taken, and they were crippled with just mind-numbingly high child support payments. So then it's like, well, am I going to be able to take care of my other kids? Going to be so broke? If she gets full custody, I'm going to have to pay her through the nose, even though she makes more money than me. Fuck! And it's just nonstop. My brain going 100 miles an hour for fucking 5 long goddamn months while I'm going through this whole process of no contact to an offer that I turned down, of accepting the assessment and the therapy and shit. And then we get to court and they're like, well, hey, we'll take away the OFP and you can see the kids kind of, even though we said you're dangerous and a threat to their safety, you can see them supervised if you agree to our stipulations, which obviously my lawyer's going to say, do it. You want to see your fucking kids, don't you? Yeah, I do. Because I already missed taking my son to Monster Jam. They fucked me out of that one. And I didn't get to celebrate my daughter's birthday with them, all of us together for the first. Jockeying for control? I don't know. It's just she's on one and she will not let up. And it hurts. It hurts that somebody that you loved so much and you thought loved you as much, if not more, suddenly you're like, well, did they ever love me at all? I don't know. Was it all a facade? Is this person like Jekyll and Hyde, and when they don't get what they want, they flip the fuck out? It's very much in the realm of possibility now. And then you sit there and you doubt your history, and it fucks with your head like no other. You're crying over this loss and this pain that you feel, but then there's the duality of it where it's like, I feel double hurt because now they're piling on and trying to wound me intentionally just for gain. And the kids are being used like pawns, and it's just another thing that is weighing on me like this rock of Gibraltar-sized boulder of shame and shittiness on my back that I'm being forced to trudge through every day holding. You Google things like bitter wife during divorce, and somebody said something like, the woman that I loved disappeared and all that's left was apparently a demon that was hell-bent on revenge. And I gotta say, I felt that shit so fucking much. And then let's jump back into the court part. We get out of court, I get supervised visits, and I'm doing that. But there's some days where I don't have a supervisor because of people's schedules. And one of those days that I didn't have anybody was Father's Day. And I got to tell you, I wasted a lot of time and money trying to force my lawyer to get her lawyer to consider letting my father supervise on Father's Day. And long story short, after a bunch of rigmarole, it did happen. But it was just a nightmare thinking that I wasn't going to get to be with my kids on Father's Day. And I mentioned it to them on a video call, and my son started crying, saying, I want to see Dad on Father's Day. And then his mom later on messaging me, accusing me of trying to emotionally manipulate them to feel bad. And I'm like, all I did was tell the kids where the situation was at and that I didn't have anybody. So I tried to prepare them on my terms. I didn't want to rely on you to tell them. I figured you might not say anything and hope they didn't notice. And at least when I was on the video call, I could say, well, even if you don't see me, you can still make me a card or draw me a picture and I would like that. Or maybe my daughter could make me a bracelet again like last year and I would like that. And I'm just trying to give them some consolation prize level ideas of how to honor their dad on Father's Day. And I shouldn't even have to think about that because this OFP was bullshit from the start. You took my kids. You pulled the rug out from under me. I didn't feel safe in my own home or anywhere. I was questioning my sanity. I was questioning my safety. I was questioning whether or not I was going to lose my freedom. I'm questioning the bond that we had, and I'm questioning myself for still feeling bad about losing you and hurting you and missing you at times. And then having a series of dreams over the period of the last 2.5 months where she's in them for various reasons. Some of them nice. Some of them she's in a house I don't know with a guy I don't know, and I think I'm supposed to assume it's like supposed to be another guy, which is my fear scenario, is that she ends up with somebody who's a shitbag or that doesn't like me because she poisons them against me with her accusations ahead of time. And then it makes having to see my kids around this guy or how he talks about me around my kids terrible. No guy wants to deal with that shit. So really, this has just been fucking with me in all facets. I don't know how the hell I trudged through those 5 months. It was quite an effort. And then to get to the finish line and think I'm going to pick him up for my unsupervised first weekend again, and then in the 11th hour, they're like, well, we questioned the validity of his anger management assessment and the fact there were 0 recommendations. We need the guy to call us and explain it. Oh, and then we need this, and then we need that. It's like, what do you mean? Well, your first therapy appointment towards the 2 doesn't count because it was before court. So you need 2 more. I'm like, well, I had one right after court, and I just had one yesterday. Then you need to have your therapist write an email stating the dates that he's seen you. Well, here's the deal. He just went out on paternity leave because his wife had a baby. Well, if we don't see it, then it didn't happen and you can't have your time. Oh, so you're fucking with me some more and just trying to shake my foundation to make me nervous and maybe see if I flip out? Like, why are you always testing me or trying to make me feel shitty? You make me think, hey, there's the finish line, and then you fucking move the ticker tape so I can't fucking cross it. So then that day I spent my lunch break dotting the I's, crossing the T's, having the anger management assessor call her attorney, getting all the requisite emails ready to go and sent to her, and screenshotting therapy appointments from the patient portal of the provider to make sure she can't deny that I was there. And then I get to pick them up. And I get there and it's bittersweet because I'm holding back tears because I haven't gotten drive them in 5 months to the day. And I broke down. They're like, Dad, why are you crying? I'm like, because everything's just so messed up and I missed you so much and I didn't think this day was going to come and it's just been such a toll. And that's a heavy thing to drop on a 8 and an almost 6-year-old, but I'm going to be honest with them and not insult their emotional intelligence by letting them know that I'm in pain. If that's shitty on me, whatever. So looking back at all these efforts I've had to make and all these hoops I've had to jump through and all this bullshit I've had to deal with, and my conclusion to you is this. She wants to win that bad that she's willing to hurt me. But more importantly, this has all been just parlor games to toy with me. And that's emotional abuse. I have been criticized. There have been allegations. I have been manipulated. I have been gaslit. I have been pushed to my limit. And lesser men would have caved. But as I put in my Facebook post about this, you're not going to fucking break me. I've been through too much in my life. At this point, I'm laser focused because I'm numb to the trauma. I don't feel the pain like you would when it's fresh. I don't think I'm going to die of broken heart syndrome. You've hurt me so much, I don't even know what to think of you. Other than that, when I see you, I still see some of the beauty when you're around the kids, because that's when I love you the most, is when you're being a mom and taking care of our babies. But otherwise, it's like you wouldn't spit on me if I was on fire in front of you. And that fucking hurts, because we had plans to spend our lives together. And yes, I fucked it up, but you also fucked it up. And you didn't put any effort into trying to fix it once we got to the breaking point. And that, in and of itself, seems to me a violation of some of our vows that you would put in the work. And a failure to think of the family first rather than just what you want. So it goes back to the saying, men will give up everything to keep their family happy. Women will give up their family to keep themselves happy. Is that what's going on in this case? I don't know, but I've had far too much time to think about it, and it's just chipped away at my sanity. And here I am fucking belching out my guts on this episode that's a total fucking Debbie Downer, but that's where I've been. Interact with the show on Twitter at What Do We Call It? That is at What Do We Call It? You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/What Do We Call It podcast show. For the What Do We Call It podcast, I'm Jmann. And that's the end.